My great-grandmother was an herbalist, and while I don't know exactly what she grew in her garden to help her fill her home apothecary, I do have a few guesses of some of the plants that she might have kept in there. So today I'll be sharing 6 different plants that she may have grown and that I definitely grow in my garden. In addition to their medicinal value, which I will be sharing with you, these plants are excellent at attracting beneficial insects to your garden. A word of caution before I begin. If you are taking any medications or you have an existing health condition, always do your own research before taking a botanical, just in case there are any contraindications that you should be aware of. So let us begin.
More than a beautiful flower, echinacea stimulates the immune system, helping to stave off colds and flus. It's great for sore throats, helps to heal infections, and can work wonders on acne, cuts, and infected wounds. Used as a mouthwash, it can even help out with tooth infections and bleeding gums. I wouldn't be without it in my garden. According to Maria Treben, in old herbals, yarrow is called cure of all ills and can be used in cases that seem hopeless. Yarrow activates sluggish kidneys, acting like a diuretic, dispels flatulence, and eases stomach cramps. It helps to reduce fevers by inducing sweating and can benefit a woman's reproductive organs. It's blood cleansing and can be used to stop bleeding. St. John's wort was one of my favorite finds the year that I let my yard go wild when our lawnmower broke. I find St. John's wort makes the best wound oil. It soothes pain and is anti-inflammatory, it relieves sore backs and even glandular swellings. It's a good herb if you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, but it's best to harvest and make your own remedies since isolated extracts may have negative effects. St. John's wort is considered to be an invasive plant by some, but like most medicinal plants like violets, the more in my backyard, the better. Like yarrow, calendula also serves as a blood cleanser. This beautiful bloom stimulates circulation and improves wound healing. Calendula is a gentle remedy for childhood skin issues like rashes, psoriasis, and eczema, and it really shines when used as a diaper cream. As a tea, it's good for digestive issues and viral infections. It also helps build up heat in the body, which aids in reducing fevers. Whether it's peppermint, spearmint, or any of the other myriads of mint, this medicinal plant is a must in an apothecary garden. Not only does it work as a natural breath freshener, it also supports your body when you have a cold, flu, fever, headache, or sinus congestion. Mint is also a wonderful digestive aid, especially when one is feeling nauseous or gassy. Just be sure to give it its own space in the garden to help keep it contained because it likes to spread and can easily take over the garden. It's also important to avoid planting different species together since they will hybridize, which weakens their taste and medicinal powers. More than a culinary herb, thyme is one plant I'm always reaching for during cold and flu season because thyme is good for soothing coughs and respiratory complaints, especially when paired with plantain. The reason thyme works so well is because it supports the body to remove fluid and phlegm. To once again quote Maria Treben, "He who drinks a cup of thyme tea instead of coffee in the morning will soon feel the beneficial effect, enlivened spirits, great comfort in the stomach, no coughing in the morning, and an overall sense of well-being."
If we haven't met already, my name is Sylvia, and my aim with this channel is to share old-fashioned tips, skills, and recipes. Now, like I was saying, my great-grandmother was an herbalist. My mother describes her attic as one that had herbs hanging from the rafters to dry at pretty much all times. When she went on walks with my great-grandmother, she would point out the plants that she wanted her grandchildren to pick from her. And in doing so, she was passing down this knowledge that she had accumulated, hoping, doing her job and passing it to the next generation. But for whatever reason, it didn't stick, and it certainly never made its way down to me, because in my childhood, whenever I had a headache, whenever somebody had a cold or a cough, my mom reached into that medicine cabinet and she gave us aspirin, she gave us cough syrup, she gave us everything that wasn't an herb. I know she was doing her very best. She was doing what everybody says you're supposed to do, but it didn't teach self-sufficiency. And I'm now living in a time in Canada where it's kind of hard to find certain medications, especially for children that are over the counter. And so parents are kind of stuck not knowing what to give their kids when they have a fever, not knowing that they can give them yarrow or calendula or elderflower for them to start sweating it out. People are scared of what they don't know. And with this lost skill of herbalism, we've lost yet another degree of self-sufficiency. While I strongly believe that allopathic, that is to say, conventional medicine is very important and has its place, it's not best suited for everything. When we have a headache, it's our body's way of telling us that there's something wrong, that something needs to address. And when we pop a pill to get rid of it, it's kind of like we're putting a piece of tape on like a red engine light when you're driving in your car. And it's just saying, go away. Like, it's not there. We'll just pretend everything's fine. And we take a pill, not thinking of all the side effects or the kind of damage it might have on our bodies in the long term. Because have you ever read any of these inserts of these over-the-counter drugs? So I'm very cautious about what I do buy and what I do give to my family. Plants are free, they are abundant, and they are highly supportive of whatever ailment we might be reeling from. They're not just trying to mask the issue. They're trying to work with our body, giving it the nutrients that it needs to heal from whatever ailment it might be. When we return to these traditional herbal remedies, we are reconnecting with our bodies, we're reconnecting with the plants, we're reconnecting with the earth. And that's the thing with pharmaceutical drugs that many of us aren't even aware of, but it's quite an environmentally damaging industry, and there's just so much waste that comes of it. And meanwhile, you have plants that grow, they nourish the earth, they nourish us. And it's just a beautiful cycle. And while I do have some bitterness that I lost the birthright that should have been mine, I should have received the knowledge that my great-grandmother was transferring downwards, but I didn't. And I've been working hard to build my own knowledge, and I really want to spread my enthusiasm for herbalism to everybody, because I think plants should be our first resort before we give into something harsher, and that's not as gentle and that's not as cleansing and beautiful. Today, this was just a short list of 6 plants that we covered. There are so many out there. These are just very basic ones. I could have added a lot more. I know I certainly have more than the 6 that we covered today growing in my garden. Like, I have things like I planted an elderberry bush, so I'm going to get elderflowers from that and elderberries. I have plantain growing in my yard. I let my mullein grow as well. There's so many treasures in my yard that it gives me, and I'm so grateful to the earth. Oh, dandelion, that's another one. I'm so grateful to the earth and all that it provides. If you've never dabbled with plant medicine before, I do want to say that you shouldn't overwhelm yourself in the beginning. Like, if you just start with one thing at a time so that it's easy. If you're brand new to plant medicine and you've never consciously used botanicals before to cure your ills, I do suggest to take it slowly, add one plant at a time to your regimen. So for example, the next time you have a headache, instead of popping a pill, make yourself a pot of peppermint tea. Or another thing you can do is add some peppermint essential oil to a carrier oil like coconut oil or olive oil and rub that on your temples. And you will find, at least this I find when I have headaches, that it just makes it go away after a while. Like, you're getting the aromatherapy from the peppermint, and it's lovely, and it's not taxing your liver or anything. There are plants out there that I still want to grow and add to my garden, like valerian, like nettle. Although I've been hesitant on the nettle because I have young kids, and well, I guess they'd learn pretty quickly not to touch the nettle with their bare hands. Although, if you have arthritis, nettle's actually quite good. You get it on your affected areas, and it helps to stimulate blood flow there. I don't know how it works exactly because I don't have arthritis, but that's outside the scope of today's video because we just went through 6 basic plants that will add beauty to your garden. They will attract those beneficial insects, and you can use them to start building up your home apothecary. I almost forgot to share this with you. 2 books that I relied on today to make today's video. This is the very first book on herbalism I ever read and I ever bought for myself. It is a book that my Oma owned, And it's by an Austrian lady who I referenced in the video. Her name is Maria Treven. And the book is called Health Through God's Pharmacy. And it is fantastic. She was from the old school. And you can tell because her ointments, I think it was her calendula ointment in here, she makes it with lard. Like she makes it with animal fats. I've never come across using animal fats in botanical salves before in medicines. So I thought that was really neat. And I love the way she presents information. Like she tells stories of her experiences working with her clients. The other book, and this is also a really great book, I've made a lot of remedies from here. They also have recipes. This is Wild Remedies by Rosalie de la Forêt and Emily Hahn. How to forage healing foods and craft your own herbal medicine. So it's not just things that you can grow in your garden, but things that you can look for when you're out and about. And if you do forage, I mean, this video isn't about foraging, but if you do forage, always be mindful to leave plants there for them to go to seed and for them to regenerate the following year. Take a third and leave the rest. If you're walking away from here today wanting to learn more, those are 2 excellent books and I will link them below. I also recommend anything by Rosemary Gladstar. She is, how do I put it? She's basically the modern day rock star of herbalism. Like she made herbalism cool again. I don't know if it's even cool because a lot of people are scared of plants. They're scared of weeds. People are killing their weeds, which are medicinal, that can be helping them. And they don't know the good things that they have growing in their yards. To wrap this up, I want to encourage you, if you do want to start dabbling in herbalism, to start small, to do your research and check your contraindications, and have fun with it. Like it's such a wonderful skill. I get so much satisfaction when I am putting a homemade salve on one of my kids' scrapes, or I get my husband to massage the St. John's wort oil that I wildcrafted from our own backyard into an aching back. It's so rewarding, and I save a lot of money. Like massage oils can get really expensive, and no, like I've made bug sprays, I make throat spray every year, I make all kinds of teas. I love tea, and I make my own blends. It's so easy to blend a tea. Once you know the basic properties of the tea, you can add a handful of this, a handful of that. My life has changed so much since I got into plants. Like it all started with me wondering what the plants were that were growing around me. And then once I started being able to identify them correctly, wondering, what do these plants do? Are they edible? Can I do anything with them? And it started my whole journey. And it just started with me beginning small. Like my goal at one point was just to learn one new plant every year and learn how to use it. And that quickly went out of control because I wanted to learn all of them at once. And it's just been such a wonderful journey. And it's just such an empowering skill because I know how to take care of my family. And I mean, if I don't know what I'm doing, like I'll go see a doctor. But for the most part, like I'm empowered. And I hope this video will inspire you to empower yourself in this way, to learn about the plants that are growing around you and how to use them, and to purposely plant them to fill your own home apothecary. But maybe you already have a home apothecary. Maybe you already plant medicinal herbs in your yard. And if you do, I want to hear all about it. What are your favorite plants to grow? If you've never grown plants for your own medicine, will you grow anything? What will you grow? So I guess that's a lot of questions at once. So I guess the question of the day is going to be, what medicinal herb do you use the most? All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.